here's where we find out what's really going on inside this thing. Roll this carpet up and pull it out. I'm a little fearful, based on some of the stuff I saw underneath. I don't think we're going to be in real good shape here. Actually, from this view so far, not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Carpet's rusted to the floor. That's not a good sign. Alright. Well, I've certainly seen worse. Let's get it up here closer. Well, it is mostly intact. I don't know how solid it all is. I'll have to get in there and really check that out. Somebody's done some patchwork. Whew, but overall, actually, like I said, I've seen far worse than this. My 55 truck, the floor was mostly gone, and I had to replace all of that. And this is not in too bad a shape. I mean, you can see the rust holes down here, but you know, considering how bad it could be, and somebody, and quite honestly, did a phenomenal job of repairing and replacing these rockers. They went in about 4 to 6 inches. You can see the seam right there, and just did a dynamite job, truly, of replacing those. I'm actually pretty impressed with that. It looks good from underneath too, so they really took their time doing it right, whoever did it. But, well, let's get her vacuumed out and see what's really happening here. So, getting the vacuum going here, we can see that somebody has welded a patch panel in here. You can see that. There's been another one welded in here, and another one here, right in this area. And then the latest one is a, well, I don't know if it's the latest one, because actually this patch panel is welded to it now that I look at it. But somebody screwed that one down to the floor. Now why you would screw that one and then just weld that one, I don't know. But that's part of the fun of, you know, unraveling these things. So now I got to decide, you know, what's solid enough to stay, what's too rotten to stay, what's too jangity to stay, and go from there. You can see I've started doing some vacuuming, and just to get a sense of what's really here. And overall, it's better than I thought it was, to be quite honest. From underneath, you can see the repairs a little more clearly, especially, you know, when the carpet was down. You don't know exactly what you're getting into, but you know, like the trans tunnel and everything, that's all solid. That's all in one good piece. So any of this stuff, you know, these panels down here, this is easier to repair to me than that sort of thing right there, because I had to do that on my pickup, and that was a real chore. So if that's already solid on this, and it looks to be in good shape, I think that'll go a long way. But you can see there's definitely some stuff here. It's going to need some attention. But overall, she's actually more solid than I was thinking. Let's be straight. I paid $750 for this car, and it's got a lot of different spare parts and things that come with, and you know, she's been through some different incarnations, but there's a lot of car here for what I paid. You know, the thing to remember, guys, especially, you know, for the new guys out there, is anybody can do this stuff. And you can see that, and sometimes just anybody will. You know, and honestly, I'm not saying they actually did a crappy job, because the welds are not really all that bad on that. And they were probably just, you know, low buck builder, you know, doing their best. It's easy for me, you know, 20 years, whatever, doing this for fun, to tear apart somebody else's work, you know. But the thing is, as long as it's safe and it works, you know, who's to tell you you can't do it that way? And I'm sure at the time they repaired that was not a hole. Now, maybe if they had dug a little deeper and poked a little harder, they might have decided to fix all this at the same time. But Maybe they just were doing, what they thought was necessary at the time. There's not a lot of Fred Flintstone action going on here. There's not big holes. I don't see a lot of pavement. Yeah, it's been repaired, and maybe not to the quality that I would like, but it has been repaired, and the car is mostly complete. So according to the gentleman I bought this from, it had been sitting in his garage for 20 years without being touched, besides having a friend of his put the rocker panels in. He said the car mostly just sat, so sitting in a wet garage in Detroit, no real shocker that it's going to have some rust and stuff like that. So I think I got a good start here, so I'm really looking forward to it. So hey, just remember, man, dig in, do your best, and if you get in over your head, find somebody who can help you out. You can always ask questions. I mean, YouTube certainly is a great resource for information, but like anything, just because somebody put it on YouTube doesn't mean it's right. And some of you may disagree with some of the things that I do and some of the things that I say. And so I would just encourage you to go out there and do your own stuff and make it the way you want it. Hey, you guys have a great day. Talk to you soon.